was baseball than football. But then when it came down to that time, probably like in high school, we're like, all right, I got to choose one sport that I really want to stick with and like be able to succeed in life. So I was just like, football is my sport. Like I like the contact, I like the competitiveness, and just basically like baseball just kind of got a little bit boring to me. So I was like, you know what, football is going to be my path, and see where it takes me. And yeah, I mean, I'm from like a small city in upstate New York. Really not that known for football or anything, but yeah, so I never really got the opportunity to like do like big camps, get scouted by like big schools. So basically, all I really had was just Division 3 schools in my area, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I was a baseball player. My sophomore and junior year, I was getting D1 offers.
Wow.
Yeah, but I just didn't want to stick with it because I just didn't feel like it was in my heart anymore.
Wow.
But
See,
football was.
that's the thing. You're if you're getting D1 offers, then that can lead to some decent money. So
Yeah.
I would imagine you'd have family members going like, hey, you're getting D1 offers and everything. Maybe you want to keep doing this.
Yeah,
So,
that's what. Yeah, there's a lot of that, but like sometimes your parents are always just with your decision. It was hard at first because I've probably spent well, well, my parents probably thousands and thousands of dollars for me to play baseball, and over the summer, playing in the best leagues in the area and things. And yeah, when I told them that I was done with baseball, it was kind of like heartbreaking to them, but they were always like positive with the decision I made. And I mean, even though I'm not in the biggest stage of football right now, I'm still in a pretty good like not a lot of people get this opportunity, even at the biggest stage. D1 athletes you sometimes don't even get this opportunity. So um I'm blessed where I'm at right now. So
absolutely. So I was going to ask you. This leads to my whole thing that I got for you. So you're in Morrisville, right? Senior year, everything's done. What is the season ends? What is the plan in your brain? Like, are you gonna are you trying to figure out what am I gonna do for a living, like not football, sports related, or are you trying to figure out like how do I get to keep playing? What's that like? I know you put something on a website. I read that article by JC Abbot. I want to say it was JC Abbot. So I kind of get the
yeah.
backstory a little, but give me your thought process.
So basically I was in order for me to graduate, I had to do an internship. I did an internship back at home with my Schenectady probation. I graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice, so like I kind of had something already set up. But I was just so interested in football, and I just kept wanting to play, and like I didn't want to work yet. I didn't want to like
Who the
go
hell
on
does,
with
bro?
my. Yeah, exactly. And like one of my friends who I played with like when I was like a freshman or sophomore, he actually played overseas in Germany, and I just hit him up. I was like, "Yo, what did you do?" and things like that. And that's when I signed up for Europlayers.com, which is like basically how a lot of athletes try to get recognition from teams around the world. Um, so yeah, I was just on there, posted a highlight tape, emailed a lot of coaches, and I got a message from Coach Booker, who was also with me in Poland. Um,
I know. I remember him.
he, yeah, he was like, "Hey man, I really like your tape. I would love you to come out to Australia and play this season." And I was just like, "Yeah." Um, like even though there was no money involved in Australia, it was still like an opportunity I would probably never have to go to Australia and live there for 6 months. So I was just like, yeah, definitely. Like I graduate in May and the season started at the end of May. So it was perfect. I graduated and then 2 days later I left to Australia. And we had a great season, went all the way to the championship, lost by 1 point, but
Yeah.
it
So
was still a great
you guys missed the
experience.
field goal, or they made the field goal. It was like crazy, right?
Yeah, we missed the field goal.
How long
Um,
was it?
it was only like I think like 20 something yards. Yeah, but the thing was like we were really talented, but like we were just such a young team. Um, we were going like it's just like, and then we made mistakes. The young kids made mistakes. Like we have like 16 and 17-year-olds going on defense going against like 20-year-olds. I mean, we had, like I said, we had a lot of talented kids, but at the end of the day, those 20-year-olds and the older guys are a lot stronger and mentally focused and things like that in the game.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was a great season. I had a lot of fun just playing for Coach Booker, just being in Australia in general. Like I said, there was no money involved, so I was basically just like I had to find a job myself.
What did you do?
I actually was making schnitzels. Uh,
Schnitzels.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
wait, wait,
like
wait, wait, wait. That's like a German food, right? A schnitzel.
yeah, it's a German food. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was making like schnitzels and stuff, and I was making like minimum wage there based off my age was like $23 an hour.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I mean, I got the job literally like 2 months before I left, but it was still a great it was still a lot of fun. And
So Booker hit you up at what point in the timeline? Because you left at the end of May. When did you know you were going?
I knew actually in the beginning of May.
Beginning of May.
Yeah, he like hit me up beginning of the May, and I was like, yeah, I would love to. I graduate on May 15th, and he was like, awesome, like we can wait till then for you to come out. And so yeah, I graduated on May 15th, left May 17th.
And you had a job lined up and everything. So that was
Yeah,
that was
pretty
good.
much. I mean, my dad has some connections. That's how I basically got the internship. My dad's best friend was the commissioner, so I kind of had it easy like going into the internship. But out of there, I would have probably been able to get a job, probably making 50 to 60,000 my first year.
Oh, because you're talking about the internship after college. I'm talking about like how you got it. Because I'm thinking like you're in Australia, right? And you gotta support yourself, right?
Yeah.
You land and you gotta find a job. So how quick did you get the snitchel job? Is what I'm asking.
Oh, not very quick at all. I mean, so the problem was like in the beginning they were supposed to like set us up with jobs.
Oh, they are the team.
Um, yeah, the team was supposed to set us up with jobs, but unfortunately, for some reason, the job didn't hire me. So I had to go out of my way and basically find myself a job. So I found it probably 3 months. Like you stay for like a 6 month period. I probably found it like 3 months in, and then only worked for like 2 months
Oh, wow.
because then that's when an opportunity came to me to actually make money to play football, and that's when I went to Turkey.
Oh, yeah. So tell me about that. I was gonna ask you. So you now have tape in Australia. You're balling, whatever. And how does Turkey? How did that process go? Like here, you get a call from a coach in Turkey, or how did that work?
Yeah, just the same thing with Euro players. I finished Australia. I made a highlight tape, posted it, and yeah, the coach from Turkey, he just emailed me. He was like, "Would you like to come play for us in 2020?" And I'm like, "Of course." And they told me like my contract, what I'll be making, and things like that. And like I said, like I took the opportunity right away because that was my first chance of actually making money playing the sport.
Yeah, that must have been nice, right? You're doing something. You're pretty much having fun. You're not even working. You're just having
Yeah,
fun, and you're making
yeah,
some money.
exactly.
Did they also include? Because I know in Poland, or at least that's what I think. The president of the Polish team, the Lowlanders, told me like you guys got your food and your room and board for free, and then you made salary on top of that. So you were living and eating for
Yeah.
free. Is that the same in Turkey?
Yeah, it was exactly the same in Turkey. It's basically honestly everywhere you go. Some clubs, like unfortunately, because like maybe money issues and things like that, might not offer all of that. But like Australia, like I said, Australia is like a different story. I had to pay for everything. That was just like a vacation kind of, but playing football. But yeah, Turkey, I got 3 meals a day, room and board. Um, Basically you get all like free medical things in case something happens,
Nice.
free apparel, and then Yeah, transportation is free. So they pretty much set you up for the 6 months that you're there.
So you're in Turkey, and then I read in the story that the pandemic hit, right? And you're now stuck in Turkey, right?
Yeah, I was literally in Turkey for about a month and a half. We played one game, and then that weekend after the game, that's when the pandemic hit. And we were basically waiting to see what was going on. And then our coach was just like, yeah, the season might not happen. That's when everything, all borders and everything shut down.
Yeah.
So me and the other imports, we also were living on a campus. So all the students left from the campus. So it was just me and four other imports all on this campus by ourselves.
Wow.
Um, Luckily, we were still able to eat and things like that. So yeah, we were quarantined for about 4 months.
Wow.
Um,
So just the four of you, 4 months. Were you
yeah,
able to leave and like go in the city and walk around?
no, not really because on the campus there was like security guards, like basically at the gate in the front of the campus, kind of just saying that you can't really go anywhere. Things were shut down, so um, we didn't really want to go anywhere at that time. But maybe a couple months later, we kind of were just like, you know what, let's go try to do something. And it was kind of a bad idea, but we kind of like snuck out sometimes and just to basically because we were so bored just living on
Oh,
the
I'm sure.
campus.
Did you at least have a PlayStation or something?
I actually I did have my Xbox, but then it took about 3 months into quarantine to get like this power outlet that I needed for the American plug.
Oh
So
my
I
God, I
was
know exactly what
basically
you're talking
just
about. Yeah,
so
because
I
it's the
was
same
just
thing in Poland.
basically yeah. We were playing ping pong. There was a basketball court, but we were making it. It was actually really fun, to be honest. But it was just, and then it had its times that it was just like, you know what, this sucks.
Yeah, after a while, after
Um,
3 months, I would imagine you'd be pretty like restless and want to get out. So that's crazy. Now, so you came back to America in between Turkey and Poland. You came back to New York, right? So you're back sitting on the couch, I guess. And what is the plan there? How long did you know you were gonna play again, or because in the article it said you were just sitting around doing nothing, like in Turkey, the same thing you'd be doing in New York, right? Because we're in
yeah,
quarantine as well. So you get back to the States, and what is the plan there? Like you sit down and
I got home. I was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Hopefully this Corona thing doesn't happen too long. And I'm still training and everything just because like I want to get better. And then about like a week or two later, I was messaged to come to Finland actually by Helsinki Wolverines. Um, I was gonna actually sign with them, and then Coach Booker, he actually hit me up. He was like, "Hey man, come to Finland and play for me again." I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I love to." Because Coach Booker is not only a great coach, he's just a great person overall, and I've learned so much from him in the past. Like I've played with him 3 out of the 4 places I've been.
okay,
So I like I don't think I see myself playing for another coach just because I connect with him so much and like I care more about the coach and what we have than anything else. So
wow,
that's another reason why I keep coming back to him and where he goes because I want to play for someone who can just teach me about life and about sports and things like that. So
sounds like a
and
father figure almost.
yeah, basically is because especially when you don't have your parents over here, um, and things like that, someone has to like be there for you. And he
Yeah,
was always there for me from day one, even in Australia. Like I said, no money, um, hard to do things, and he bought us food. He did things that he didn't have to do.
wow,
So
wow.
yeah,
That's awesome, man. So Coach Booker calls you up and he's like, come to Finland and play. So you went Finland, Poland, Finland, and you're waiting for the
yeah.
season to start. Okay.
So after Australia, Coach Booker went to Poland to Białystok.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, I went to Turkey, and then um, the pandemic ended up hitting us. So Poland, and then yeah, that's when I went home. He hit me up to come to Finland. He left Bioli stopped because he knew that there really wasn't going to be a season probably, and Finland was actually the only country that was having a season.
They're not getting screwed by the pandemic that bad, right? You're sitting there now. Stuff is open.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of restrictions, but some things are open. They're like I feel like they're very safe here. But it's still I don't know, like there's still some restrictions and things that aren't open, and yeah, this it's basically like everywhere, but I feel like it's more controlled here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I would imagine it's more spread out. The cities aren't so crowded either, right?
Yeah, no, it's like I'm like 6 hours away from Helsinki,
Oh wow. Okay.
which is the biggest city in Finland.
Yeah, that's the capital, I think,
So
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you like live? How do you like? Well, I'll ask you those questions and ask you to compare all the countries and stuff like that a little later. Um, so you just so Booker, and then in Finland, you guys also get to the championship, right? And then
We actually get to the semifinals and lose by one to a field goal.
to a field goal. Somebody made a field
With
goal on you.
3 seconds left, it was probably like a 30-yard field goal, and yeah, we lost by 1 point.
Wow, man. So you've had some moments, man, in your young career that are like that. But I'll tell you, that develops thick skin, man. Those
Yeah, definitely.
moments develop. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I live in New York, and I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So I don't know if you recall, like under Andy Reid, the Eagles would make the championship game like 4 years in a row, and then they'd
Hmm.
lose in the championship game every year. And I was, as a big Eagles fan, oof, that was tough, man. So it
Yeah,
develops
I
thick
mean,
skin.
yeah, definitely. With football, it's been like baseball, like I said, I've played on teams that we won championships. We've won a lot of championships. Football, I don't think I've ever won like a championship. In college, we made it to a bowl game my senior year, lost by 1 point. Um, and then yeah, Australia made it to the championship. The funny thing about it, in Turkey, we were definitely 100% going to win the championship,
And the
but
pandemic hit.
the pandemic hit, and they actually gave us a trophy. They basically declared us as the
After
champions
one game? Wow.
after one game.
Wow, that's funny.
So yeah,
That's
we were
funny.
laughing about that. I was like posting it on my Instagram and just like it was like a funny thing because like wow, it
Why
was
do
one
it?
game. Why?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Why
exactly.
crown somebody after one? So let me ask you this. Which country offered you the most competition? Where was the talent level the highest? In Australia, Finland, Poland? Where would you say it was like, damn, this is like, and how would you compare it
I,
to college?
I would definitely have to say Finland, because Finland is the third like the third top rated country to play for in all of Europe. Um, One thing I gotta say is Australia has probably the best talent, but like no coaching at all.
Oh wow.
Like I kid you not, these kids are very like we just my uh when I played in Australia, we actually just had this kid who was his first year ever playing. He's actually the number one recruit in all of international football,
Wow.
and now he's going to Texas A&M. He just signed there a couple of days ago.
Wow.
So and there's a whole bunch of those guys, but they just don't have the coaching. But overall, I would have to say Finland because Finland you can bring in a lot of imports. Like you can only allow 3 Americans, but you can have as many imports from all around Europe as you want.
Yeah.
Um, so I would say that's probably the most competitive because there's just so many there's from all of basically Europe,
Yeah.
and they bring them to the team, and so
So one of the last questions I have for you, where did you enjoy living the most? Where was it like I could see myself if America didn't exist, I could see myself living here.
100% Australia.
Yeah.
That was like when I lived there. That was like I'm like I want to just. This is a dream right now.
It's like vacation.
Um,
Is
it
what
was it's like living in it's like living in Florida, um, but just like imagine like living in Florida, getting paid like $24 an hour, and making a lot of money because like they just pay a lot over there, and just like being able to go to the beach every day and just I don't know, it was just something different for me because I've actually never I the only state I've been to out of New York was Florida.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, my first like so I've never traveled even when I was in the States.
Oh wow. So
Yeah,
it was kind of a big leap of faith for you to go to another country. Like, Mom, I'm going to Australia. What? Right? That
yeah.
must have been quite a
Mhm.
conversation. And and you're doing all this just because you love football. Just
Yeah,
because you want to
just
play. That's
mhm.
awesome, man. That's I really wish you the best. Now that I've gotten to know you a little bit, man, I want you to start for the Eagles or something like one day. So
Appreciate it.
the yeah, man, that's awesome. What a story, man. And then tell me about like when you were in Poland. First of all, tell me about your experience in Poland overall. We didn't touch on Poland too much, and that's where I
Yeah,
kind of saw you and stuff because I was following
yeah,
who they were signing and stuff, and I found out that Poland had a football league like a few years ago. I was like, wow, that's a thing. And then I started doing more research into it, and I'm like, and then I found they signed you because there was a guy before you, also an American that was a quarterback, I think.
yep.
And then you came on board, and that's kind of how I started following your career. And then I saw you there. I was there for a wedding just by chance, and I'm like, I'll go to a practice. And then I saw you guys practicing, and I'm like, oh, that's Brandon Gwinner, okay. And so tell me about your experience in Poland.
I thought it was a great experience. Poland was very different from places I've been. Unfortunately, talking to some of the Polish guys, they're like, yeah, Białystok isn't really like the most tourist like place to be in Poland. But overall, I thought it was cool. Like the guys were great. Like the management was great, and then especially meeting the other imports. It was a great experience. Just like being able to like I don't know, like I said, but another hard thing it was like it was still during the pandemic, and then Poland got actually hit pretty hard at the end.
Yeah, I was there
Um,
at the end. I had to leave with a week early.
yeah,
Yeah,
so we had it was hard because we had no fans at the game.
yeah.
Um, even the championship, yeah, there was just I liked it personally. It was very different from what I've been to. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I'll ever go back to Poland.
Right.
Well, maybe like Warsaw. I actually traveled to Warsaw once, and Warsaw was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Um,
So when you say go back to Poland, like if they offered you, if Coach Booker's like still there, or he wants to coach there again, and he's like, come back, you're not going back, or you would go back in that case.
I would definitely go back.
Yeah.
I like I said, I would play for him any day. Um, and it's just so easy playing for him because like I already know the offense from day one. So
Yeah.
um,
I'll be
and that's
honest.
another reason why he keeps signing me because I'm just so familiar with it. Why would he take his chances with someone else? And that's
From
also why I gotta respect him at the end of the day because I'm sure like I don't want to say this because I'm very competitive, but I'm sure there's better quarterbacks than me and that he could be recruiting, but he's choosing me because he knows how talented I can be, you know?
Yeah. Now you got a crazy arm. I've seen you throw the ball. You can spin it. So
That's a big
that's
strength that I have, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it is, and it'll take you far, man. Trust me. Let me ask you about Glenn Tonga because me and Glenn, he's a funny dude. Like you're running back from Poland, and he's gonna get
Yeah,
an opportunity. It looks like to go to a tryout in Canada, right? The Canadian Football League.
CFL, yeah, CFL tryout.
Yeah, is
Yep.
that a goal for you too to eventually end up going to Canada and maybe to the pros after? Because that's like the next. I think that's the next biggest league in the world after the
Yeah.
NFL.
Of course, my dream is definitely to be at the biggest stage. So if CFL wants me, that's one of the biggest stages. NFL, that's the biggest stage. I would look like that's always a dream. So I just keep working towards that dream. But like I said, if it doesn't happen, I'm happy doing what I'm doing now. I'm traveling the world for free, basically.
Yeah.
Um, even NFL players and professional players like that, they can't really do this. They're playing football 24/7,
Yeah.
every 365 days of the year. So when do they get to really travel?
Only during the
You
off
know,
season a little bit. Yeah.
and yeah, really not even in the off season because they're still training. But yeah, and you just like I've met so many people in every country that I just like will have great connections with if I ever need anything down in the future.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. For sure. But ultimately, you do want to get to the NFL and get on the biggest stage.
yeah,
So even if if
definitely.
somebody calls you up today, like the CFL calls you up, because I think Glenn has like a tryout coming in like in a couple of weeks or something like that. So
Yeah, yep.
so if the CFL calls you up, you're gonna be. I'm sure Coach Booker will give you his blessings and be like, bro, do your thing.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
100%.
So
He always tells me, he was like, "Hey man, if you ever get the opportunity to make more money, I love you, but peace out."
oh wow. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely, man. And that's kind of how I want to end it, man. I really appreciate you giving me the time to interview you. I hope in the future we can do this again. Maybe
yeah,
as you keep
definitely.
playing, and I'll ask you more about maybe individual games and things like that. Let me ask you one more thing. The game in Poland against the what do you call them? The Panthers.
Yeah.
They're like 2 or 3 time champs now. Tell me about that game. What was it looked like they on defense, your team looked like it was gassed. They were running all over you.
Yeah, the thing about the Panthers, like, don't get me wrong, they're a great organization. They have great players, but they were just too good for Poland. Um, they have so much money that they were paying their Polish players. So if you're paying your Polish players, the Polish players are required to go to practice, all practices, lifting, meetings, everything. Um, that separates them from every other team in Poland.
Because those guys
The
are just
other
doing it.
Polish,
They're going because they want
yeah,
to go. Yeah.
exactly. And we like our championship week, we had like 11 guys show up to practice.
Wow, that's crazy. Because every practice I've been there, I've seen more than 11.
Yeah. So even our championship week, we had about maybe like 11 to 12, but we couldn't even do offense against defense in
Wow.
the championship week.
Probably because of the pandemic, though. So you kind of, you
Yeah.
maybe or maybe.
And we had some injuries, but it was still like if you guys were that motivated to play and like because the thing is we could beat those. Yes, they're talented, but they're so fast and talented that they make mistakes. And if you make mistakes, we got to capitalize off their mistakes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like we like just watching film, they made so many, and we had a great game plan for them. It was just their defensive line was crazy. They had the CFL player who literally was in my face every single play. Um, but yeah, like I said, they were just very fast and physical and things like that. Don't get me wrong, they're a great team, but they were just too good to be in Poland. That's why they're in the EFL now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? To be honest, oh, they're in like a different league now. Is that what it is?
Yeah, the EFL, the new league that Europe has, the
I
EFL,
I
the
gotta do
European
research.
Football League.
No, I gotta do research on that. So there's a new, and it's
Yeah.
like it's a whole European thing of all the countries.
Yeah, it's yeah, pretty much they have one from Poland, Spain, and then most of them are from Germany. But the EFL, they used to have this a while back. The EFL is basically the NFL of Europe.
Oh, I remember that.
So like, yeah, so they're bringing it back. So like, yeah, the Panthers are in it. They even made a whole bunch of new teams in Germany. Yeah, they've been signing like ex NFL players. So It's a big league.
It sounds like Germany has a lot of teams, a lot of interest in American football, based on what I can. Because there's guys from Germany in the NFL, like Bjorn something
Yeah.
Wagner or whatever his name is, and then like a receiver was
Yep.
really good that almost got drafted or got drafted. So it does seem like it's really revving up in Europe, man. It might be a career path for you. Like, if I hope the NFL works out and Canada works out for you. But if not, hanging out in Europe and playing ball for money ain't bad either, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, like I said, not a lot of people get this opportunity. So
Yeah, man. Listen, I've taken up like 30 minutes of your time.
oh no, it's fine.
I really appreciate you doing this. I wish you the best of luck, brother. And let's be in touch, and hopefully we can do this again once once the pandemic settles down, you start playing more. I'll follow you, and best of luck, man. Best of luck to you and your family.
Awesome, definitely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'll post this, and I'll show you. All right.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Later, man.